Oh yeah, we're back. For those longtime Media Mementos fans out there, and by long time I mean from the beginning long time, you'd know that our second/third video ever on the channel was The Good, the Bad, and the Monkey, the story of ITV Digital, and let me tell you, I poured my heart and soul into that thing, and I'm still proud of it today. I mean, yeah, the mic's a little wonky, but other than that, the contents hold up very well, especially for someone who doesn't live in the country that it took place in. For those who didn't watch the video, let me summarize. There was this terrible TV company called ITV Digital, formerly known as On Digital, that had the worst service around. It was buggy, it had bad signal, and it was easy to pirate. But they had a great advertising campaign about a couch potato man named Al and his sidekick monkey named Monkey, and they just talked about ITV Digital. Although, as time went on, the ads would get crazier and crazier to get people's attention, and it worked until it didn't. See, the ads were so good that people wanted to try ITV Digital, all while suddenly realizing this stuff sucks. And then ITV Digital went out of business. But that wasn't the end for Monkey and Al, because the tea company PG Tips ended up taking Monkey and Al for their own, using them as their own mascots for quite some time. I touched upon that briefly in the ITV Digital video, but not a lot because it didn't really fit with the thesis. Now, we're gonna give these adverts their due. Strap in, folks, it's time for part 2. So as mentioned in the last video, the first PG Tips ad with these two was about Monkey coming back to the house, because apparently after ITV Digital went out of business, he ran away, and Al stayed to face the music and, according to his pantry, got addicted to PG Tips. Oh well, as long as he's doing alright, and not hurting anybody. The two decide to get back into the advertising game and decide to advertise what else? PG Tips. So for the first mainline ads, they kind of follow the same flow that ITV Digital had, being kinda low-key and about the characters just chilling and being themselves, talking about the product. And they're definitely a lot more mellow than the ITV Digital ones right out the gate. There's not a lot of music, there's not a lot of sound, there's not a lot of background noise, it's just Monkey and Al being Monkey and Al. Do I mind? Absolutely not. Do I think they're better or worse than ITV Digital? That's a little different. Because they're both so similar and so different, it's kinda hard to determine what's better and what's worse. They're apples and oranges really, but trust me, they would not stay mellow and low-key for very long because, like ITV Digital, they decided to ramp up the energy and ramp up the scale and ramp up the everything in order to make the ads we know and love today. However, unlike with ITV Digital, they didn't make everything bigger so that they could plead with people to give them some attention. No, this time they did it because they simply had more to do. Maybe it was because the crew had a bigger budget, or the writers decided to act on all the opportunities they couldn't follow up with ITV Digital. I don't know. But not only does the spirit of the old ads live on, but they decide to expand on them in every single way. Except for one thing, the free monkey you would get with buying PG Tips. Yes, they did decide to carry over that ITV Digital deal where if you signed up with them, you got a free monkey. Only this time, the monkeys weren't nearly as impressive. I mean, that is kind of obvious. You don't really expect to get the same kind of freebie when you sign up for a cable service than you would when buying some bags of tea. But these monkeys are kinda puny. Not bad for what you get, of course, they're nice little freebies. But my guess is that ITV Digital spoiled me, I can't help it. But what these monkeys lack in size, they make up for in variety. Monkey has a ton of different shirts now and you can collect them all. Trust me, I want to, but it's really hard to do it here in the States. I had to pay an arm and a leg for my monkey from ITV Digital, so these PG Tips ones? No way! With shipping, it becomes ridiculous! And don't even get me started on those Argos aliens. I've been trying to get those for 3 years to make a video about them, and I just can't seem to find the full set. And especially not for a good price. One of these days. Anyways, back to the adverts themselves. Nowhere is this bigger scale more exemplified than with the Rainforest Alliance series. Do you know what that is? Well, if not, let me introduce you. Rainforest Alliance is a charity organization that makes sure that those who pick tea leaves get good wages and fair treatment. And PG Tips decided to team up with them. You know how I know? They would not stop talking about it.
to help make sure the people who pick the T earn a decent living, have good working conditions, and medical care. They help make sure the people who pick PG have good working conditions, earn a decent living, and get medical care.
Also, I don't know why, but Monkey sounds really different in the Rainforest Alliance series. Maybe Ben Miller was too busy to reprise his role? Maybe he was trying out a new, different voice? I don't know, but I kind of prefer his real voice because, you know, that's kind of the joke. The real-life human is more the cartoon, and the puppet is more the real-life person. This is just nitpicking though, it doesn't really matter. But anyways, now with ITV Digital out of the picture, Monkey and Al could advertise with a good, reputable business. One that people liked and wanted more of. So now we can see what would happen if their momentum with ITV Digital didn't stop. They would have kept building and building, becoming semi-cultural icons. It seems like everyone in the UK at least knew vaguely who they were. And there might have also been a slight bit of nostalgia factor factoring into them as well, both through the ITV Digital ads and the fact that PG Tips used to advertise with monkeys all the time. Specifically the Tips family. In fact, that's probably why they wanted Monkey and Al to begin with. Not only did they see that they were popular, but they had a history with monkeys, so why not keep it going? It fit the theme, it fit the branding, and it fit their history. Sounds like a great deal, a match made in heaven, and sure enough, it was. It seems like whatever the crew wanted to do, they could do it. Even ads that were 1.5 minutes long, and by the way, this one here, It's the Taste, is easily the best ad that these two have ever appeared in. It's basically a music video perfectly synced with their motions as they're making tea. They also had a little mini-series, so to speak, of different adverts that showcased each new PG Tips flavor that was coming to the market. This one was about Monkey getting abducted by an eagle and stuck in its nest with all the little eaglets, and he's telling them about the different flavors of PG Tips, like the evening one, the strong one, and of course the fresh one. Although, shouldn't every PG Tips bag be the fresh one? I don't know, maybe it's a cultural thing, but I don't really want to drink rancid tea. That would not be a good look for PG Tips, let me tell you. Things kept going strong for a while, but then suddenly, Al stopped appearing. I noticed that when rewatching these ads, Al's role gets smaller and smaller after the Eagle storyline, to the point where he only appears for a couple seconds sometimes, and hey, sometimes not even at all. It's just Monkey all the time. Don't get me wrong, Monkey's great, but part of what makes him work is Al. You can't have just the straight man on his own. You need Al to go alongside him. Even when Al's in technically the entire ad, Monkey gets all the good stuff. Remember in ITV Digital when Al would make the jokes and then Monkey would rebound with an even funnier one? That's why Monkey was so funny. But to see him reenact the infamous diner scene from When Harry Met Sally, it's funny, but it seems more like something Al would do, you know? And then eventually, Al just stopped appearing altogether. It was Monkey only. They never gave an explanation as to what happened to Al in universe, or as far as I'm aware, even in real life, but he was definitely missed. Monkey's good and all, but you need more than just him. But even Monkey couldn't stay on for that much longer because in 2017, Monkey was officially retired for good. Maybe Johnny Vegas and Ben Miller wanted to move on to other projects. Maybe PG Tips decided to go with a new ad campaign because let's face it, even the best ones can't last forever. Looking at you, M&M's guys. Who knows what's gonna happen to you someday? I fear that day if that should ever come. Monkey and Al were gone, but not forgotten because to this day, there's still a small devoted fan base to these guys, whether you go from the old era or the new. People love these guys because they were hilarious, they were charming, and best of all, they were great admin. They told you about the product in a way that was so ridiculous and absurd that you had to give it a try. But it wasn't all silliness and comedy. They really did tell you the good parts of their products, whether it was ITV Digital or PG Tips. I learned a lot about both products from these guys. I mean, ITV Digital was terrible, but I never would have known that by watching the ads. And PG Tips, I mean, I'm not really a tea guy, but these guys really make me want to try it. Even though they're gone, Monkey and Al got a lot of mileage when they were in use. They survived one of the biggest company shutdown disasters in UK history, they managed to get on to a reputable tea company, and they even got a mini-movie, although to be fair, it was more Monkey that did as Al didn't really appear if at all. This was A Tale of Two Continents, and yes, this was actually shown in theaters, even though it wasn't feature length. So in the UK, they would air this thing in front of, say, Horton Hears a Who or other family movies. And yeah, it's good, really good. In fact, I'd like to cover it someday on Media Mementos. Will I? Who Who knows? Maybe someday. We'll see if we can fit it into the schedule, but anyways, Monkey and Al, I salute you guys. You were some of the greatest pitchmen of all time, even though you're not real. Whether it was ITV Digital or PG Tips, these guys gave it their all to make you laugh, make you learn, and of course, make you learn not to throw spoons at your friends because that looks dangerous. Well, folks, thanks for watching the video. What'd you guys think? Do you prefer the ITV Digital or PG Tips adverts? Comment below and let me know because I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say. Well, enough monkeying around. I'm terrible. It's time for the comment of the day, and today's comment of the day goes to Cars Perry. Well, this was depressing. To quote Bart Simpson, I didn't think this was possible, but it both sucks and blows. I totally agree. I was expecting Gorga to suck and blow in the best ways, but it did not. Story of my life, I suppose. Real quick, I'd like to thank our Patreon executive producers, Reziel, Lee Fraser, Azarius, Michael Bellamy, and MD the Dude. If you too would like your name read at the end of every Media Mementos video, then consider donating to our Patreon, which has a link in the description below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time!